Good evening, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rock.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news, World Oceans Conference ends on a high. More than 600,000 Fijians registered to vote. And Mali Island sets record for planting native trees.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Amrita Sagar.
The week-long Oceans Conference in New York has been one of the greatest weeks in Fiji's history. This was highlighted by Prime Minister and Co-Chair Voreqe Bainimarama at the closing of the World Oceans Conference. Akusita Tale reports.
Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama has acknowledged more than 100 nations at the UN Oceans Conference for coming together as one to defend our oceans and seas.
And this is reflected in the large number of formal commitments that have been made, which have now reached more than 1,110 and rising. And this is almost double the number at the start of the week, and I understand it is still rising.
The President of the UN's General Assembly says this is no excuse for anyone or any nation to say they were not aware of the ocean's problems.
We've seen great resources pledged to help small-scale fishers and SIDS and LDCs maximize benefits from a sustainable blue economy. Strong commitments have been entered into for investment in ocean science and technology and knowledge transfer that will greatly support vulnerable countries and thereby us all.
The Swedish government, co-chairs of the conference, is reiterating there is no turning back after this week's successes.
It's our only home. We've traveled a long way. It took 1 billion years for us to get where we are now. On our journey in space, the ocean is what has kept us alive. Let's make sure not to fail it. Let's now promise each other to keep this beautiful blue planet alive.
Bainimarama says it's now time to turn the attention to the simultaneous challenge of climate change, the urgent need to come together in a grand coalition for climate action and uphold the Paris Agreement. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
More than 600,000 Fijians have registered in the Fijian Elections Office voter list for next year. There are currently 605,997 registered. However, the Elections Office is targeting around 610,000. Savara Tambua has more.
People from all walks of life turned up to the Government Referral Centre in Suva today to register for the 2018 general election.
Ladies and gentlemen, as of today, we have on the voters register 16,118 people who are between the age of 18 to 20. And for 151,000 who are between 151,367 between 21 and 30. So this itself shows a massive number in the younger population who will be voting, and for the first-time voters, 16,000 first-time voters, but I'm sure the number is going to increase as we conclude.
78-year-old Miriam Amarama from Langere in Nasino has already registered but came in today to replace her voter card. She's urging the public to take advantage of this registration drive.
I'm happy that I've got a card and would like to advise all Fijians, especially youths, to come and register, since this is a pathway one has to follow if would like to take part in the upcoming elections.
Fijians are also encouraged to get a voter card redone if they don't have any.
It was good. Yeah, I never feel any worried about it and nothing. It's all free.
Choose to register.
This is the first registration drive to be conducted in 2017, and apart from this location, FAO registration teams are all in the 4 divisions as well as in the maritime zones until the 1st of July. Sabira Tambua, FBC News.
John Feeks has been appointed as Australia's High Commissioner to Fiji, replacing outgoing High Commissioner Margaret Toomey. Feeks is a senior career officer with the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade and was most recently High Commissioner to Kenya. He has served overseas in Lebanon, Jordan, Afghanistan, Papua New Guinea and the United States. Australian Foreign Affairs Minister Julie Bishop says Australia and Fiji share an enduring friendship underpinned by strong people-to-people links and significant trade and investment ties. Bishop has also applauded outgoing High Commissioner Margaret Toomey for her outstanding contribution to rebuild Australia's relationship with Fiji and advance regional cooperation in the Pacific. Feeks is expected to take up his appointment in November 2017. Mali Island in Maduata has set a record for the most native trees planted. In doing so, the island has also helped the Northern Division surpass its target of planting 125 hectares of native trees this year. Eleanor Trangeviu reports.
In its 5-year development plan, villagers of Mali identified the need to plant more trees on the island.
This is an initiative taken up by the people of Mali because they are witnessing the effects of climate change on the land. It is becoming bare and dry. We couldn't let all the awareness done here go to waste. We've taken it upon ourselves to do something.
In October last year, the Ministry of Forests stepped in to assist the villagers in this regard, supplying them with seedlings for native trees like Vesi, Damanu, Kaundamu and Ndilo.
Compared to the Western and Central Eastern divisions in community planting, Mali Island has planted the most native trees. It's planted 22 hectares altogether.
All 3 villages on the island got together for this initiative. The men camping out in the forest and doing the planting, and the women cooking their meals. Tuimali Ratu Apeni Sambongisa says they are planting these trees for their future generation.
Nowadays, rocks are sticking out of the mountains and our water sources are drying up. This is because there are no more trees on the land. When this initiative came up, we were happy because we know that our mountains will be clothed with trees to protect us and our children.
The national target for this reforestation initiative is 500 hectares of trees to be planted. For the Northern Division, the target was 125 hectares. To date, 144 hectares of trees have been planted, surpassing other divisions as well. Eleanor Turangeviu, FBC News.
The Watuanga-Fletcher Bridge will be closed for maintenance this Sunday. The Fiji Roads Authority is urging motorists to use Grantham Road during this time. The nature of the maintenance will include tightening the loose deck planks, replacing the missing nuts and bolts, and a safety check on all pins and safety clips. The FRA says the bridge will reopen as soon as the work is completed. Meanwhile, the Rewa Bridge roundabout in Nosori will undergo maintenance work from Sunday this weekend. Majority of the work will be carried out at night with the exception of Sundays, since the traffic is expected to be low. Road signs have been placed to notify road users about the road works, as restricting motorists to single lane may be adopted to ensure public safety, movement of traffic and progress of the mill and fill operation. The mill and fill method will require removing the existing pavement, clean and apply a seal, and then pave a fresh concrete layer top as the finishing. Still to come, Fiji's female lawyers encouraged to raise the bar. And Youth Champs for Mental Health observe 24 hours silent campaign. Details after the break.
Mimbula vinaka na yavangunga andi moala radada ranalika o tikongona tauna singa toka ando talisaka na vakaronga na Mbula FM number 2 na serve.
Ya dora chubuni kurna bili. Iborani batukara hambara binaranga. Do talitakina na varonga na Mbula FM number 2 na serve.
Mbula FM number 2 na serve.
60% of lawyers in Fiji who have been admitted to the bar are women, and this is no mean feat. This was highlighted at the Fiji Women's Lawyers Association's first gathering in Suva last night. Akasita Tale has more.
The first gathering of Fiji women lawyers since 2008 saw a diversity of influence that women lawyers are involved in, from trial lawyers, barristers, solicitors, in-house counsels, corporate boards, policymakers, and even legislative drafters.
It's more so about women who share the same interest in terms of the legal fraternity, the legal system, the laws and regulations, people who feel that they can do something simply because they are women and they happen to be lawyers, or they have a common shared interest in terms of sharing the legal issues, resolving legal problems, empowering other women to join us.
The lawyers were congratulated for making headway in the profession globally and locally. High Court Judge Justice Alice Temo says most courts are dominated by female lawyers.
A lot of lawyers worry about winning or losing their cases. Winning or losing your case is not important. It's how you develop your skills as a trial lawyer. That is the most important thing.
The Fiji Law Society encouraged those in attendance to raise the bar for women in growing in professionalism and competence.
The discussions on foot right now, we plan to have CLEs or at least legal education programs that will address the issues that women lawyers, peculiar to women lawyers. And so we're looking forward to that, and especially now with the new president, Ms. Radhika Naidu, we're so excited to work together, a new chapter, a new season together.
Female lawyers around the country have been urged to join the association. They were also reminded that their game changes in national development and emphasize the value of collaboration. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
In a bid to improve tax compliance, the Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority and the Pacific Islands Tax Administrators Association have joined resources. This partnership will also allow the two agencies to exchange vital information and resources. This effort is also aiming to assist in dealing with taxation issues in the region as well. FRA Chief Executive Vishwanath Das says they have implemented various tax compliance strategies and reforms like PAYE as final tax and VAT self-assessment. A 24-hour silent campaign to build awareness on mental health is currently underway in Suva City. Rachel Nath caught up with the Youth Champs for Mental Health during their annual march in the capital this morning and files this report.
The message is simple. There is no health without mental health. And today's silent march in Suva is trying to build awareness on the issue.
Today we're here on the street for 24 hours advocating on suicide prevention, mental health, and also being the voice of the voiceless.
Over 20 volunteers are campaigning around the capital with messages of support.
Most of us are being pushed aside just because of their mentalities. They are not treated well.
Don't think about the people who sick really, but they're looking at like mental. But we're suffering, all we're suffering is a depression.
The biggest obstacle to improving mental health is getting people to take such issues seriously and end the stigma.
Look after your mental health, be positive, you are not alone. Remember that whenever you're in a difficulty, there's always someone out there to talk to, share your problem.
Awareness that people to reach out and speak out and seek help. There's hope, there's always hope, and you are not alone.
The campaign started at 7 this morning from Suva's flea market and will end tomorrow morning at Sakuna Park. Rachel Na, FBC News.
Murder accused Timothy Lolohea has pleaded not guilty to the charges against him. Lolohea, who is charged with 1 count of murder and 1 count of criminal trespass, took his plea in the Suva High Court yesterday. Sharon Shivan reports.
56-year-old Timothy Lolohea allegedly murdered his de facto partner, 23-year-old Eleanor Didovi, at Nasilivata Road in Nandera Nasinu. The alleged offence took place on 20th March this year. It's also alleged that Lolohea entered the compound of Zulfikar Beg with intent to commit an offence. He showed up at Beg's house where the deceased was working and allegedly stabbed her multiple times. The prosecution informed the court that during the trial they will rely on 2 eyewitnesses who saw the accused allegedly stabbing the victim. They will also depend on the post-mortem report to prove the cause of death and rely on the alleged admission by the accused in the question interview. The matter has been adjourned to June 26th. However, the trial is expected to be held next year. Sharin Shivan, FBC News.
Coming up in FBC Sports, Namosi defeated Nandi in round 6 of Skipper Cup. And Lalin Memorial Under-18 secures first win. This and more after the break.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी से
सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची FM सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची FM is number 1. It's so hot.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची FM सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची FM is hot.
हाय, मैं संध्या नारियल रेफ्रिजरेटर से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची FM सुनते हैं। मिर्ची FM is hot. I love मिर्ची FM.
हमें स्पिन टॉक हुआ कि मिर्ची FM में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची FM, it's hot.
The Wallabies defeated the Flying Fijians 37 points to 14 in the first June Test match in Melbourne earlier this evening. The Fijian side trailed 18-0 at half-time. Veroniki Ngoneva and Timothy Nangusa scored Fiji's try in the second half of the game, which wasn't enough to match up the Wallabies. And the Vodafone Flying Fijians wore a new set of outfits in their clash against the Wallabies this afternoon. This is after the Fiji Rugby Union announced their new partnership with Australian top kit supplier International Sports Clothing. The partnership will include the supply of all kits for all FRU international teams and also provincial teams. The outlet discussions are being held locally with Tapus and S. Nagindas, but will be confirmed later. The Namosi rugby team beat Nandi 17-10 in the 6th round of the Skipper Cup in Lawanga Park this afternoon. Ilaitinai scored Namosi's first try with a successful penalty kick by fullback Viliame Mayono to put them in the lead 8-7 at half-time. Namosi's Mayono kicked 3 penalties in a row in the final quarter of the game, which gave the edge over the jet setters. Here are the highlights.
Rusa makes the run on towards that far touchline side. The kick is good. Ilaitinai chases for it and it dives. Did he control that? The try is on, I think. The referee just wants to have a look at that. Meli Rusa, that was excellent play. He got tackled, but he put a kick in with the right foot just about at the 22, I think it was. And then Ilaitinai raced out. Tinai chased for that and he dived out. Held at the back by Katoni Vere. TV, Selatonga looks for his back line. The turn into there. Oh, wonderful break with time from Joe Turuva. Nandi is back in this. That was a Selatonga special. He went one way, switched the pass infield. Mayono. He lifts it and the flags agree. Namosi the lead. Can he give Namosi the lead? Valiame Mayono. And he's lifted the flags. He has given Namosi. Yeah. And now a chance to stretch the lead. 4 minutes earlier, he gave Namosi the lead back. 11-10. Now the flags go up. Mayono gets his 3rd penalty of the game.
The Naitasiri rugby team failed to secure a bonus point despite defeating Northland 2019 in a tough 6th round of the Skipper Cup competition at Ratadakambao Park last night. The Highlanders had a good chance to play in the semis but need to secure a bonus point in their next match to guarantee them the spot. Melitavanga has the story.
Nipi Etunia Roku Tuisawa was the star of the night for Naitasiri as he scored 8 points, 2 penalties and a conversion.
We can take any 3 points from anywhere within our 50 meter zone. So it's good to have him in the team. We also have a number of other players that can also fill the boots. So that's something that we're working towards the tougher end of the season.
Despite not securing any bonus points after the match, this did not affect them in leading the table points.
Yeah, it was a tough game. Scrappy win towards the end there. But I thank the boys for giving in a gallant effort against Northland. We came in expecting that Northland was going to be tough because we understand they were at the bottom 2 yesterday, and obviously if I was in that position, I wouldn't want to be in the same position after last night. But we're thankful that we came up with 1 extra point towards the end there to get the win. So.
The Naitasiri side will take on Malolo in the last round of the competition next week. Melitavanga, FBC Sports.
Now, Vodafone Fiji football coach Christophe Kamel is expecting New Caledonia to come firing in the return match of the 2018 FIFA World Cup Stage 3 qualifier tomorrow. The Frenchman is working on getting the players to adapt in playing in the big crowd, and at the same time he's trying to expose his players to develop their skills and to grow in the future. Kamel added few injuries in the team caused him to make changes in the team.
to fix some problem, but we will face a lot of problem there in New Caledonia. Injury, dislocation of elbow for Seta, Christopher problem on the toe, Josefo during training had a twist of ankle, and 1 or 2 players more get injured.
Cloudy conditions was experienced over most parts of the country today, apart from brief showers over the eastern parts and the interior of the larger islands. A weak trough of low pressure remains slow-moving just to the west of Fiji. And in the west, it was mostly cloudy in all the centres today. And eastwards, it was also cloudy from Pacific Harbour to Suva. Right up in Vanua Levu, similar conditions prevailed. Temperatures in Lambasa stood at 31, while Savu was cool at 30. At sea, westerly winds 15 to 20 knots and moderate to rough seas. The next high tide is at 12:45 a.m. with a low tide at 6:55 a.m. tomorrow morning. Sunrise will be at 6:33 a.m. For tomorrow, mostly fine weather in majority of the centres. In the morning, however, expect brief showers in the afternoon for Suva, Savu and Lambasa, while the west will have fine weather tomorrow. As for the further outlook, southerly winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas and moderate southeast swells are expected. Recapping the main stories, World Oceans Conference ends on a high. More than 600,000 Fijians registered to vote. And Mali Island has set a record for planting native trees. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. To our poll question, this week we ask, has the campaign for next year's general election started too soon? Visit our FBC website to answer. You can always send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News, or you can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. Until next time, good night.
I'm another Sorokro of Nayabu Wenibuga Televu. Whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Tano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.